Around the 1950s, most municipalities in Massachusetts adopted zoning. And zoning is what your city council, or in other communities, town meeting has adopted to establish the ground rules for land use development. Residential, commercial, industrial, height of buildings, bulk of buildings, and other aspects of development that we see on a daily basis. If you walk down the street, the reason a house is set back a certain distance from the front yard is because of zoning. The reason a structure is 30 feet instead of 80 feet is because of zoning. What Chapter 40B does, and we're the only state in the nation that does it, is it takes all of those local zoning characteristics, all of them, no exceptions, and it casts them aside. So why would a neighborhood be concerned about those rules being cast aside? Because it seems arbitrary, because it seems offensive, because it violates due process, and because it's totally and completely irrational. 49 other states construct affordable housing in a different way, successfully in a different way. We're the only state in the nation that allows a developer to cast locally adopted rules and regulations that all of us are party to out the window for a particular project. So a developer can threaten, can provide any kind of aggressive assault against a municipality and threaten the 40B because what the developer really wants is a special permit, and they can do it with impunity. It's the ultimate club. I mean, think about it. No rules apply. Who wouldn't want to approach that? So that's part of the process. Think about a statutory scheme that says there are no local rules. I mean, that wouldn't be tolerable any other state in the country. But for some reason, we've tolerated it here because we've wrapped this cloak of affordability around it. It's all about creating affordable housing, which I don't think anybody in this room or any of the communities I represent feel any differently about. Everyone believes affordable housing is a key municipal objective. But there's also 15 other key municipal objectives, including open space and public schools and public transportation and infrastructure. When one goal or issue trumps and obliterates all the others, that's a recipe for disaster. I mean, maybe there's a reason why there's no other state in the nation that does it this way. Maybe there's a reason for it. Because when we take this concept, as Dennis said so well, that says you can take that parcel of land next door, raise whatever's there, and there are no rules that apply, that's going to get people upset. Why? Because we're snobs? No. Because we believe in fairness and due process and rational planning and thinking. When you take those rules away, people get angry. It's insulting. It's wholly insulting to a democratic process. And that's why 40B has been so controversial for 40 plus years. To get the statute repealed has been an impossible task. It was tried not too long ago and it failed miserably because those petitioning the repeal were outspent hundreds to one. And I suspect, and I think we all suspect, that would happen again. There hasn't been a governor since I've been in this business, and many people in this room in this business longer than I, that has seen fit to want to talk about a reform to 40B. So we're stuck in a legislative scheme where the legislative system and the governor has not seen fit to adopt modern land use scenarios. The American Planning Association not too long ago said Massachusetts was one of the most regressive planning schemes in the nation. That's the American Planning Association. No shrinking violet when it comes to affordable housing. Getting to a standard doesn't mean it's the end of affordable housing. Just the contrary. Look at Cambridge. Look at Amherst. They've been over the 10% standard for decades, and yet they're producing affordable housing in a very consistent manner in accordance with their plan. So this concept that being at a milestone means you'll never construct comprehensive permits again is false. So 40B is a vehicle that can be used in concert with a plan, not as a bludgeon used by the private sector. Getting to one of these standards, 10%, 1.5%, getting to that status does not mean that the community cannot approve comprehensive permits. It only means that a developer who's unsatisfied with the Board of Appeals decision can't appeal it to the Housing Appeals Committee. So there are countless communities in the Commonwealth that have achieved the 10% status, the 1.5% status, or any of the other statuses that have approved comprehensive permits. But they've done it in accordance with a plan. They've done it in accordance with common sense, rational basis thinking. I can't tell you how many cases we've litigated where an affordable unit, one that we in good faith approved, gets lost to a market rate conversion. The joke's on us. If a developer is selling us a waiver of zoning to create affordability, then those units should be perpetually affordable because that's why we gave the waiver. But that unit, instead of selling for $185,000, which is what it would sell for in Newton today, or $200,000, then sells for $500,000, how is that equitable? How is that fair? How does that fulfill the purposes of 40B? Of course it doesn't. So once the units are created, any rational thought would say you keep them affordable.